Hello, everyone. Good morning. This is Max with Jenny here at NDE. This is our September District Advisor meeting. First step, like we usually do, go ahead and put your name and district into the chat window. We are recording this, so just to help us keep track of who is showing up. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining. We are in the middle of the fall collection now. Reminder, there is work days posted. Hopefully everyone here heard the message about that. They're posted out here on our Google site, which you can see we've kind of cleaned up and removed some of the tabs. So I'm going to talk about that. So check out a work day. We recommend everyone goes to one. One thing, we have a set of slides that NDE and some of the ESU trainers worked on together. So to go over some of the basics in the changes for 1819 and supervisor basics. I'm not going to go through this whole presentation today. I just wanted to point out one thing that is different about advisor validation. I've talked about this in the previous year, but just to remind everyone, I think this is stated as best as we can get it now. When you're looking at reports and lookups, some of the lookups in advisor validation, you pick what reporting window you want to look at. Versus in NSSRS, we had the fall snapshot and the year-end snapshot. But now we have multiple options since you're uploading data all the time. No problem with the audio. I am connected to the phone actually. Can you hear me okay now?
You're just really shaky. So you just kind of go.
Yeah, it's weird. I can reconnect the phone. Give me a second. All right. I just wanted to point out this is what you will see in the reporting window in a lot of reports. Depending on the report, you may not see all four of these options. It just kind of depends on what type of report you're looking at. When you're looking at the fall reports, the membership, the special ed reports, you will see these options. So there's an option we've added called full year, which this basically just shows you all data you've ever uploaded in the current school year. That could be useful, I guess, when you're trying to check some data and you just want to see anyone who's been enrolled. There is the as of today view, which looks at students enrollment, that shows you who are the students enrolled today. That can also be used for data checking. Then there is the as of October 1st option.
And once you don't see this option today, but it'll automatically show up if you go look at the reports on October 1st. That is what you should continue to be checking all during the audit window for the fall collection. And that's letting you see what is going to get locked down. And then we lock down the data. We take a copy of it midnight on the 31st. And then come November 1st, you should be able to then see the as of October 1st locked reporting window. So that's the data that's been locked down. That's the data that the state will officially use. If you need to make changes to that data, then you will need to submit a late or data change request in the CDC, just like we do now. So that's new for all of us, but I just wanted to get on the list. That's kind of what the process is gonna look like. There will also be a screen for district administrators to sign off that they've reviewed that data. But at least for this fall window, the data is not really getting locked down until the 31st. Although we're planning on changing that in the future, but that's what we have now. The Advisor Resources website, this has been updated. We've got some additional documents here. We have these little menus to help clean it up and keep organized. A few of these documents have been updated as well. I would encourage everyone to check them out. I updated the calendar document. All we added was fixed some typos and added some of the assessment roster dates, but not all of them yet. Here in the data guidance area, this we've updated a bunch. The data elements guide has been updated to this version 3.3. We didn't actually change any of the data that's reporting. We've just been doing a lot of tweaks, fixes, adding a lot of explanations. We've really kind of gone over this document top to bottom. So I'd encourage everyone to check that out. The Who Reports What document, which hasn't been updated in a while, this is a new version 2 that's suitable for advisor. Generally, who reports what has not changed, I don't think, but we've just updated it. Jill also reported our discipline guidance, just with, again, some more updates and clarifications. Nothing of substance has changed. So I would definitely encourage everyone to check those out. We are, adding menus to this site since eventually the NSSRS resources will kind of go away. We've got a staff reporting page. We've got a CDC page, since those are kind of both advisor and not advisor. But this advisor resources, definitely encourage everyone to bookmark. And you can just find that by searching our site. I guess it's also posted on the portal now. Not yet. Yeah. We will be posting a link to it in the portal. So try to make it as easy to find as possible. And yeah, like I mentioned, the Google site here, we got rid of a bunch of tabs that we weren't using anymore. The main content is the calendars and the meetings. This is where the recordings of these meetings go. Then there's a page just for documentation from NDE. A lot of it has to do with the dashboard. Then I've got a backup of the data conference documents here. Then we just have some resources from vendors. Infinite Campus and Nebraska Power School have given us some stuff to post here. We also just have some links to external documentation sites as well. So we will keep a few things on this page just as a quick way to refer people to them. So let me get an update. I guess, is there any questions so far? So just kind of been moving along. You can unmute yourself or pop something into the chat, let me know. The validation website has been updated. 1819 is now live. Reports and lookups are working, and we just turned on the errors about a day ago or 2 days ago. When you send data to Advisor from your SIS, you will see that data immediately as soon as the SIS processes it and sends it. The reports and lookups in the validation site show that immediately, unless stated otherwise. There may be a few reports that, I know there will be a few reports that have specialized data that we will run in overnight processes, but we'll always put a big label next to those reports, in the description of the reports to let you know. So otherwise, generally, reports and lookups you see immediately. The errors are scheduled to run all errors overnight, but and this works just like under NSSRS validation. You're always free to reprocess your errors, and that will pick up your data again immediately. So you can send up data, and if you need to, immediately go reprocess your errors and wait for that to finish, and then you should see your updated data. We've got some new error codes that you may start to see. We had to create, I think we've got like 15 new Advisor errors that are just basic data issues. So you may start to see some of those. Generally, those just need to be fixed in your SIS.
Max?
We have more features we're still working on adding. The archiving errors, where you can hide it, certain types of errors off your list, that should be coming before the end of this month. And then, like I kind of mentioned briefly before, the checkoff for district administrators, we will be sure to have that out by October 15th when the audit window starts.
Max? Max, it's Ellie. Can you hear me?
Again, just a reminder about the help desk.
Can you hear Ellie?
We're using a new ticket system. I think
Let's not be able
things
to.
have been going pretty well. The help desk I've seen many tickets go through there, so I think we're doing okay with that. We're still watching the old email address, but just a reminder that this advisorhelp@nebraskacloud.org is kind of our main address now. Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you, Ellie.
We're not hearing anybody.
My thing was muted. Sorry, go again, Ellie.
Okay, I have a question about staff. Yesterday we had a work day and some folks were seeing an error, and it was my assumption that they were seeing it in the advisor validation. But is there anything that aligns or kind of maps up between the staff reporting? So right now, like if they don't have their staff report in for the 1819, will they see an error or warning somewhere because if their SIS is trying to send that staff? Do those two match up at all?
No, the data, the staff data that you send from your SIS is really only the only staff data you send there are the teachers connected to your courses and any staff that you any staff that you want to log into the dashboard.
Okay.
So it's totally separate from our staff
Right.
reporting.
Okay, and that was my understanding as well. But they were all kind of just hung up on that. They thought the two went hand in hand. So they were thinking if their staff report wasn't in yet, that's what these errors were. But I think the errors
I mean,
due to something else.
there is a connection in that we take the data from staff reporting and put that into Advisor, and that's the staff that you are allowed to send up. But again, that's just for the Advisor staff, so that's not really required data for the fall here. You know, the number one thing everyone should be looking at is the staff reporting, and then the NSSRS validation still has your staff errors and your staff reports until some point in the future. So.
Okay.
And yeah, so right now in Advisor validation, all the reports there only look at Advisor data. That's why there's only a single staff report in the Advisor validation side.
Gotcha.
I have a question. This is Sharon. So do the secretaries and stuff, they aren't on the staff report, are they?
No.
So then if they would need access to the dashboard, how do we do that then?
There is a process for that, and we've kind of gotten almost all of them set up at this
Right. That's by creating a unique ID and the fact that they're in the staff unique ID. When it comes to validation for staff members on the dashboard, two places are looked at: unique ID for staff and certificated staff.
Yeah. And you put in their email address in the staff unique ID system. But, I was just trying to simplify that. For most users, that doesn't apply to. So generally, if someone ever a district runs into that, we'll get a ticket and I will get them set up. So.
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, at this point, we've got most of the data steward type people set up already. Righty, going on to updates about the vendors. EduPoint, that's Lincoln. They are syncing pretty much all their data. They've got a few bugs, nothing major, but I sent that to the vendor. They are looking at that. GoEduStar, I just got an update the other day. They think they will finish development this week for 1819 and be able to test with the district by Friday. I'm not sure what district they were referring to, but they're moving along. Infinite Campus is syncing. Several districts have started to move their data. There are a few key errors that would need to be resolved for the fall window. One about the student demographic data and some other student characteristics that are no longer used. But I've sent that over to Michelle and John there at CIC. So they'll be going to Infinite Campus to get those fixes. Michelle or John, do you guys have any update about any releases coming up for Infinite Campus? And you may need to unmute, by the way.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yes, we have developers working on these issues right now, and so we're going to get them out as quickly as possible.
Okay, just let me know if you have any questions.
You bet. Thanks, Max.
JMC, Newman Grove, First District has synced. I'm not sure when the other districts will be hooked up, but they're coming along, so I'm not worried about that. Power School, there was a state reporting update at the end of September, but there are still some things that needed to get fixed. That would be critical data for the fall here. Right now, syncing students generally throws errors. So Power School right now, you can only do your downloads and do your uploads through your calendars in your schedules. So they have a emergency release coming out. It is scheduled to come out tomorrow. It is 18.8.2 in the Nebraska state reporting version.
And Max, I'm not sure about that version. After our last conference last week, they've actually pushed out 2 more emergency releases. So there is still a release for those general fixes tomorrow. But I will just be honest, I'm kind of confused about their
Yeah, me too.
version.
They should release documentation about what's
Correct.
in each update. So we
But
will
technically,
figure it out pretty soon.
an 18.8.2 just came out.
Okay.
And so this might actually be a .3.
Okay.
So, Amy, in order for them to sync, we have them wait for something beyond 2?
You can have them publish. It doesn't break anything. It just doesn't work. So they just won't be able to publish anything. Sometimes what happens is kids who have transferred in from another district, and if that other district has successfully published, then it looks like those students have published, but it just simply doesn't work. So it doesn't hurt to do anything, it just doesn't work.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll just see a lot of errors when you go to publish student demographics.
Okay, because I have a new person doing it, and I don't want to overwhelm her with the extra errors that she doesn't need to really be concerned about. So
Right. Or just say,
I
this
have
is what you're going to see, and then next week, hopefully it'll all be better. So that's kind of, we had a work day yesterday, and that's kind of what we told districts is you're going to see errors and nothing's going to publish, but that's what we expect. I just wanted to make sure for right now, you're not getting any errors like in your calendar or your schedules.
Okay.
And we've asked them to expedite the rollout for the hosted Power School districts.
So hopefully by the end of next week, if not sooner, not unless you're hosted yourself, Power School districts should all be updated.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Sims, I haven't seen any districts yet, but I believe, Anna, you said that you are ready to go anytime.
Yeah, pretty much. We're just fixing a couple last minute things. We hope to upload a district possibly this week, if not next week, just to kind of babysit it while it loads, and then we'll start pulling up the rest of them.
All right.
But I have my districts working on, I left our old code in for NSSRS because I told them if it was an error for NSSRS, it's an error for advisor. So go fix it.
Yeah, that sounds good. SRS, I do not know if anyone has synced SRS data yet. Because like I've said before, the key thing is you must upload your student demographic and student enrollment data from your SIS before SRS could ever begin to send data. So almost no districts are in the place to even try that yet. But within the next few weeks, hopefully SRS can begin their sync as well. So that's basically all I had to cover today. Next month, we'll talk a little bit more about hopefully the new items available in the validation site. Maybe continue to talk about, just the fall sign-off process and any issues we're having. So the next meeting is scheduled for October 10th. And that's it for today. If you have any other questions, let me know. Or any other topics you want to bring up.
Just a question. Is the dashboard working or is it not quite ready yet?
It is pulling in some data, but I know that some of the data in the dashboard is incorrect. So it's not really recommended to use.
Okay.
The dashboard was never going to be useful for validating your fall data in the first place. So generally, I'm saying, concentrate on the validation site now. We will be, fixing up the data that's in the dashboard, but
Right.
I don't know if we'll get to that until November, depending on.
Okay, so just
Concentrating on this first.
right for schools, we'll probably, if they ask, we'll just tell them it'll probably be ready more for second semester or something like that.
Yeah. And you may have to remind them that they will have to sync their staff position data. That's that one piece of staff data that we need in Pfizer. They have to do that if they ever want to get into their dashboard. So just because you got into the dashboard last year, that data has all been cleared out. So
Right.
you have to send that again.
Okay, thank you.
How's MIPS reports getting done? Well, I guess I'm not sure of what the time frame is for MIPS, but I assume it's the same as last year. The SRS
they look at
data
previous year's
will be
data.
coming through in the near future.
Right. Just like last year, if you hadn't uploaded student and stuff like that, they weren't able to get the information. So I think they just rely on last year's information until new information is submitted, if I remember correctly. If you've got any help desk staff in the room, they might be able to put it.
That's correct, Amy. This is Ginny. And then after the October 1, it will be the 23rd of each month after that, same as last year.
All righty. Any other questions? Okay, I think that'll be it for this week. Thanks for joining, everyone.